Hey YouTube, Samix Plays here, and we are officially on our last ultimate guide. We have done the guides on every single ultimate in the game up until in a few days when Ultimate Valby drops, and then of course we will be doing how to unlock Ultimate Valby. But for right now, this is going to be the last of the ultimates that we need to do a guide on. As you can see, this one is pretty easy. I've already pretty much unlocked them. I've gotten all the pieces. This was by far the easiest ultimate to get, and the reason why is because his drop rates are like way higher than the other ultimates. So the enhanced cells is actually going to have a 32% drop rate, which is extremely high. They basically just give it to you. His stabilizer is going to be 20%. His spiral catalyst is going to be 10%, and then his code is going to be 10%. So this is by far, like in terms of drop rate, the easiest ultimate to unlock. There is something extremely interesting about his enhanced cells. I will show you that when we get there. It is an anomaly, but basically it is because depending on the option you choose, if you choose one of the options that it recommends, it's a 20% drop rate. However, the other option is a 32% drop rate. I found this highly unusual because generally in all of the ultimates, the drop rate of the item isn't going to change even though the method to obtain them is. So like, for example, usually if you would do an outpost, let's say you did an outpost, it would have like a 10% drop rate, and then the other option would be like, oh, go fight a hard boss, and that would also have a 10% drop rate. We usually don't see it to where the drop percentage actually changes due to the method that you pick. I hope I'm making sense. I'll show you guys here in a minute. But anyways, also I did want to address a couple things. I did get some questions in my last video what my Thundercage build was, so I'm just going to show that really quickly. This is by no means like optimal. I'm not saying at all that this is the best Thundercage build, but this is the build that I'm using at the moment. I've catalysted it. I have catalysts on all of them except this one. It seems to be working pretty well. Again, I'm not saying this is the best build, but for whoever asked me what my build was, there you go. And this is going to be my bunny build. Again, not sure if this is the optimal build. I just kind of rolled with it. We did not buy anything. We farmed all the catalysts, farmed the energy activators. I don't even have this all the way built up yet, but generally you can kind of see what's going on. But yeah, so also I wanted to show we have Viesa crafting, and I would craft ultimate Lepic, but we don't have enough room. I forgot I catalyst, so I cannot start crafting this yet. But anyways, we officially have 4 out of the 5 ultimates, completely free to play, aside from cosmetics, because I have bought in cosmetics. But yeah, it's completely doable, guys. It just takes time, a lot of RNG factored in. The only one we have left is Ajax. But anyways, I'm going to stop yapping. Let's go ahead and jump into it. So the first thing we're going to need is the semi-permanent plasma. We're going to go ahead and go to Vespers, and we'll teleport to Timberfall. All right, and then you're just going to run around the map scanning, and you're just going to loot these ammunition boxes. It can be RNG on what you get. Loot this, and there you go, semi-permanent plasma. All the blue mats are going to be just location based. Next up, it's Flectorite. You can go anywhere on the map. We're going to go to the White Knight Gulch, and we'll teleport to the hatchery. All right, and then you're just going to run over here and loot these munition boxes. And there you go, Flectorite. All right, next up, we're going to do the divided plasma battery. There is something to keep in mind here. You can obviously just do these two, but I'm going to show you. So for the Caligo ossuary, you are going to, it's going to change depending on which one you want to do. So as we can see here, if you are wanting to farm Lepic's materials, and if you don't have ultimate Gley, you could do the Caligo, this one, the Caligo ossuary, because you can also get the 100% amorph material for the Gley spiral catalyst. So basically the most optimal way to farm this in my testing, I've just run all of them back to back really quickly, and normal mode seems to be the way to go for this specific mat if you are not trying to farm the amorph material patterns that drop the Ajax or Gley amorph materials. So if you're just trying to focus on this map specifically, spam the Caligo ossuary in normal mode. It's really quick runs. He'll drop like 5 to 6 based on what I've seen, and you can just leave the dungeon once you get there and reset the dungeon. That is probably the most optimal way. It's going to be like 2-3 minute runs if you're on bunny, and you just rinse and repeat till you have enough. Next up, we're going to do the Ultimate Lepic Enhanced Cells Blueprint. So this one is actually very tricky So usually this is the only ultimate that I've seen that actually changes drop rate depending on which one you choose. So I just want to highlight this real quick. So if you try and go over here, let's say you want to fight Devourer and do pattern 77. Let's go and look at pattern 77. So here it says his ultimate Lepic Enhanced Cells blueprint is 20% drop rate, right? However, if we go to the second option here, which is going to be the 74 pattern, let's go ahead and take a look at what this drop chance is. It goes up by 12%. So now you have a 32% chance to get the enhanced cells. So obviously we're going to go do this one. This is an anomaly. I have not seen any other ultimates do this throughout all my guides. They are always the same rates no matter which option you pick. Ultimate Lepic is actually different. It does matter which option you pick. If you choose to fight the Devourer, you have a 20% chance to get it. If you choose to do the Outpost, you have a 32% chance to get it. So we're going to go ahead and do the Outpost option. Also, a lot of people are probably not at the point yet to where they can fight Devour. So this one's overall just a better option. We get a 12% chance increase, and we just have to hack the Outposts. The Outposts have been heavily buffed since launch, so it's a no-brainer. We're just going to do this one. So what we're going to do is we are going to go to Vespers, and we are going to teleport over here to the Moonlight Lake. The outpost we are going to is going to be this one right here, the Moonlight Lake Strategic Outpost. This is going to drop pattern 74 and 75. And keep in mind, if we scroll over here to pattern 74, we will see that like we just saw earlier. And also look at this, if we scroll over to pattern 75, it has that ultimate Viesa code in it. 2 birds, 1 stone. We get to farm 2 ultimates at the same time. Assuming that you don't have Viesa, you get to farm this outpost and you get 2 materials for 2 different ultimates. It's a win-win. So we're going to change to Sharon. You can teleport over here if you have it, so we can get a little bit closer. And we're just going to go run over to the outpost, and we are going to hack it. Just going to stealth in. This one only has 3, but they are a little bit apart. Make sure you have maximized skill duration up. And you can choose to either focus the boss and or kill the ads. I'm going to just kind of kill the ads. Make sure you are killing these bombers that spawn. They will do a lot of damage if you do not kill them and they end up jumping on you. You're going to kill the orbs and you're just going to nuke them down and GG easy. We did not get a pattern that time, but since I already have it, I don't really need it. I'm just going to go over and show you guys what the boss is going to look like, but that's how you're going to do it. You're going to do this until you get the pattern. It's going to be this one right here. Keep in mind this is going to take organic and polymer. It'll show you on the map, and we're going to the Vespers Moonlight Lake. That's where this is at. I'm going to go ahead and summon the boss. This guy can be really tanky, so if you need to set your world to public, go ahead and do that. I'm sure other people will be fighting him. It's going to spawn this shield thing. You're going to shoot the shield icon right here. You have to shoot it. That's its weak point. Phase 2, you just kill the orbs. Remember, if you run out of ammo, you can die on purpose and it'll reset your ammo. Then you're just going to kill him, and you're going to open your orb, and that's going to be pattern 74. And you will have a 32% chance of getting that Lepic piece, which is way better than the 20% chance on the Devourer option, and a hell of a lot better than doing it in normal mode. I never recommend doing it in normal mode. It's just a waste of time, and that's how you're going to do that. Next up, we're going to have the mana shards, so we're just going to go ahead and go to Kingston, and we'll teleport to the Grand Square. Same thing with all the blue mats. We're just going to run around and scan, find those munition boxes, and there you go, mana shards. Alright, next up is the Shape Memory Alloy. We're going to go to Hagios. It doesn't really matter where you teleport. You can kind of teleport on the map. If you clear out the map and it's still not dropping the material you need, you can try teleporting somewhere else. So we'll go to the forward base here and just run around the map and scan the area. Look for these icons. And there you go, Shape Memory Alloy. Alright, then we have the Crystal Biogel. So on these, you have 2 options. You can either go use the shards to fight this boss, which is the first option, and they sometimes can drop like multiple, there's 2 elites here that drop multiples of it, a chance to. so you can get up to like, 14 to 16. However, that is going to cost shards, so that is an option if you want to do that. However, if you do not want to use those shards, you can just do the second option here and just hack this strategic outpost. You actually don't even need to hack it if you don't want to, but generally I recommend hacking just so you can stack up those stabilizers. But if you don't really care, you can just run in here and nuke it. It's completely up to you. You can hack it if you want the mats from it, or you can run in. So depending on if you need pattern 100 and 101, you can hack it with Sharon. This is going to be the pattern 100 and the pattern 101. So for me personally, I don't see anything in here that I really need that badly. So just for saving time and the sake of this video, I am just going to go run in there and nuke it, just so I can get the mat that we need. But you can absolutely hack this if you want to. I'm just going to run in here and nuke this with my bunny. Then we're going to kill the elite. And you'll see here, right here, he dropped crystal biogel. So that's how you'll get that material. Keep in mind, the third option here, should you choose to do it, I already have Ultimate Gley, so if you are only wanting the Crystal Biogel and you do not want to hack the outpost, you can just run in and nuke them. However, if you do not have Ultimate Gley, you can choose to do this third option, which is going to be right here, and it's going to drop pattern 102 and pattern 103. It's going to be in the White Knight Gulch. If you wanted to be optimal, you could farm two things at once. So if we look at this, pattern 102, which is the third option on the material that we're going for, it has the Ultimate Gley Spiral Catalyst blueprint. So if you did want to multi-farm, you would just teleport over here, and then you would go hack this outpost, and you would be getting the purple material as well as farming pattern 102 for the Ultimate Gley piece. Complete preference, up to you. If I did not have Ultimate Gley, this is the one I would be farming. I would just run in here and hack this one, and that way I could be farming two things at once. If you're just going for the purple match, you don't have to worry about that. You can just, if you already have Gley, you can do the other one. Completely up to you. Do this one if you need Gley. Always hack it so you get those shape stabilizers. Next up, we have the Ultimate Lepic Stabilizer blueprint. So you could do the hard bosses for this one. So you don't really have an option here. This one is going to be locked behind a hard boss. It just is what it is. You will have to get strong enough to down those. Alternatively, you could do it in normal. However, I would not recommend this. If we scroll over here, as we can see in normal mode, it only has a 3% chance drop rate. That's extremely low. You would have to get extremely lucky, and you could be farming this for a long time. Alternatively, you could be powering up your character to fight those hard bosses, and it would bump this up all the way to a 20%, which is incredibly high, much higher than a 3% chance. I do not recommend doing this in normal. I recommend getting strong enough so you can go fight Executioner. And the mission for that would be Slumber Valley, and you're going to go for pattern 59, and that's going to be this one right here. So you would just go farm this mission. Make sure you change the pattern when you go here, because it starts you, the base pattern is going to be 58, which is the one that you are not going for. So you have to change it in the menu. Here, I'll show you guys. All right, so you see when you queue for Slumber Valley here, how the original pattern is going to be pattern 58. Well, that's not the one we want if we're going for Lepic. That's the one you want if you're going for the Ultimate Gley Code. You have to come up here where it says change, and you're going to change it to pattern 59. And now if we scroll over it, it's going to have that 20% Ultimate Lepic Stabilizer blueprint. Keep in mind, these amorph materials are 100% drop rate, and if you do get a high enough score, you do have a good chance to get a second one, as well as a stabilizer. So overall, that's good. Just make sure you're changing it, and you're going to run this mission and go fight the Executioner. And the Executioner is going to be this first one right here. So he is the first hard boss that you run into, so you should, if you're at endgame, be able to eventually down him. So it is locked only behind the first boss. So that is kind of the good thing. You don't have to go all the way down the list to get his piece. You just have to beat this guy right here. Keep in mind, he is weak to toxic, and he's very strong against electricity. I still used my bunny to kill this guy. However, I understand that most people are going to have different builds. So just go for this piece once you are able to successfully down the executioner, and then that'll be this one right here. You'll just roll it. Sorry, not that one. That'll be this one right here. You'll just roll it, rinse and repeat until you get it. It does have a 20% rate, so it shouldn't take that long. I mean, I don't know. It's all RNG, right? It could take you a while, but also statistically, it shouldn't take you that long to get this piece. So that's how you're going to do that. Next up, we're going to go for the metal accelerants. We're going to go ahead and teleport to the sterile land, and we'll go to the classified area. You can teleport anywhere on the map. You don't have to follow me exactly, as I always say in these videos. However, I am just teleporting to the first one that pops up. You're just going to keep running around the map until you get what you need, and there's metal accelerant. Keep in mind specifically for the blue mats, it just has to be somewhere on the map. It doesn't have to be a specific area, it's the entire map. So if you are looting and running around and you can't find the material you need, you could just teleport somewhere else and then clear the map. Either that or come back and reset the instance and just loot them again. It's just RNG of what you're going to get. Next up, we're going to do the nanopolymers. We're going to go to Agna Desert and we'll teleport to Mirage Stone. Same thing, run around the map and scan the area to find the boxes. And there's some nanopolymers. Very easy. Then we're going to be moving on to the data processing neural circuit. We're going to go ahead and do the first option here, the frontline base. We'll teleport to the lumberyard. It's going to be this one right here, and you do want to equip Bunny for this one because we're going to run really quickly and clear everything, and we're going to do like 2-minute runs, and then we're just going to rinse and repeat. I'm going to show you guys a run right now. You're just going to clear these mobs out, run to the other side, then we're going to run over here, and you're going to kill this guy right here, and he's going to be the one to drop it. And there you go, we got 9 of the neural circuits. Keep in mind, this is not 100% drop rate. He sometimes does not drop them, but they're pretty fast runs, so you should be able to farm these pretty quickly. I started at 0 with these, and in like 30 to 45 minutes, I had gotten all the ones I needed, so you're just going to rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat until you have enough. Alright, next up, we're going to do the Spiral Catalyst blueprint. So on this one, this is yet another piece that you are going to have to fight a hard boss to do. The boss after Executioner would be Dead Bride, so you would have to go do this one. Keep in mind, as always, I do not recommend normal mode unless you just have no other option. Even if you don't have another option, I would just focus my time on leveling my character and my build, because at the end of the day, I don't think the normal drop rates are worth it comparatively to the hard rates. The pattern you would be going for if you were to do this in hard mode would be pattern 69, and this is what you're gonna fight Dead Bride with. Or, I'm sorry, this is what you're gonna go in and kill Dead Bride, and this is the pattern that is going to be used to open his Spiral Catalyst, and that would be in the Sterile Land and the Unknown Laboratory over here, and that's gonna be the one you would do. You would go in there, finish the mission, get the pattern, go fight hard Dead Bride, and that's how you would do that. Okay, now I did want to say that this was worth mentioning. So if you are just not there yet to where you can be downing Dead Bride, you can technically do it in normal, and this is a very rare situation where it's a small decrease in drop rate. So the hard mode is going to be 10%, and then the normal mode is going to be 6%. So if it's worth it for you, you can go spam this pattern 6, which would be from an outpost that would be right here in the Sterile Land in normal mode. And you do see, if you hack this, you do have a chance for it to drop 2 of them. So with the buffs to the outpost, debatably, you could come over here in normal mode, spam this like 20, 30, 40 times, get those patterns, and then you would just rinse and repeat. And then you would come over here and you would fight the bosses. Now, this is one of those rare situations where this might be worth it, because usually with stuff like this, they set it at a 3%. However, for Lepic, they put his in normal mode at a 6%, so it's only a 4% reduction. So this is one that if you just can't fight the hard boss and you really want this piece, you can absolutely do it in normal. It's the only time that I'm going to say that I think that normal is okay alternatively to do than hard mode would be this piece right here. So if you just can't down Executioner and Dead Bride, or I'm sorry, if you can't down Dead Bride and you just want to do this in normal, I think it's okay. I think the drop rate is, I mean, it's not even halved. It's at 6% instead of 10%. It's a 4% drop reduction. You could do it if you wanted to. I'm going to leave it up to you. I would go to hard mode and just fight the Dead Bride, but this is absolutely a viable option, and in some cases might be faster if you are getting 2 of those patterns to drop consistently. It just all depends, however you want to do it. So yeah, completely up to you. 10% chance. This also has a 10% chance. This has a 6% chance. Only time I will say normal might be okay. So I'll leave that to you. I did it this way. I went and fought the Dead Bride, but my character is also really built. Yours might not be. You might want to do it in normal mode. But again, keep in mind that even here, remember that you will have to fight the Executioner for the Stabilizer. So regardless, you're going to have to fight some hard bosses, but again, I'll leave that up to you. All right, next up, we are going to do the Ultimate Lepic Code, and as we can see here, that's going to have a 10% chance of dropping from pattern 89. And then if we go over here to the normal pattern, which is pattern 21, that is going to have a 3% chance of dropping. So this one is not worth it. You want to do the outpost, because at least this one isn't locked behind a hard boss. So do not do this one in normal. Do it in hard at the outpost, unless you like are just in the early game and you really want to get Lepic. I would not recommend doing this one in normal at all. So depending on which one you want, they have 2 separate ultimates. So this one in pattern 88 is going to be ultimate Ajax, and then pattern 89 is going to be that ultimate Lepic Code that we're going for. That is going to be the first option. We're going to ignore the normal option, and then the second option is going to be pattern 61. So that's going to be down here for hacking it, and it also drops pattern 60. And if I look over here, it is going to be that Gley enhanced cells blueprint. So depending on if you are wanting to farm Lepic and Ajax, or ultimate Gley and Lepic, or ultimate Lepic, it's going to change depending on which one you are trying to do. I'm going to go ahead and show you both options, and whatever you're going for on your account, you can choose which one you want to do. So the first option I'm going to show you here is the pattern 89 one. That's going to be in the Agna Desert at the Vermilion Waste strategic outpost. So we're going to teleport here. We're going to go ahead and equip Sharon, and then we're going to run over there. Remember, the pattern we're going for on this one is pattern 89, so you do have to hack it. You can't just run in there and nuke it, because if you do, pattern 89 is not going to drop. It's only going to drop 88. So make sure you are hacking this. I'm just going to go ahead and stealth in. Remember to have the maximized duration and skill duration built up. You're going to hack all 4 and clear out the ads and or focus the boss, completely up to you. And that's how you're going to get this pattern. And then assuming you got the pattern, we're going to go over here to the Agna Desert Vermilion Waste. So you can teleport here to change off of Sharon, or you could just fight it on Sharon and head directly there. I'm going to change my Descendant, and that's going to be this one right here. And we're going to be fighting duplicate enhanced power Drakkul. It's going to be this big mace guy. I'll show you how to beat him. You want to just dodge his slam ability and his beam ability. Again, you can go in public if you're struggling. You're just going to work him down. Phase 2, he's going to spawn these orbs. Then you're just same thing, dodge his mace ability. And if you get too close, he does a whirlwind thing that you want to dodge. I got hit by that, so that's the thing that you want to dodge. It freezes you. And you're just going to work him down and kill him. And then you would just open the orb right here. So as I said, as you can see, pattern 88 is going to have that ultimate Ajax code in it, and then pattern 89 is going to have the ultimate Lepic code. So you would just roll this and cross your fingers that you get it. And for the second option, which is down here, again, we're ignoring the normal option. We're going to go down here, and that's going to be pattern 61, which is going to be over here in the Sterile Land Rockfall strategic outpost. So we're going for 61, and then 60 is what has the ultimate Gley piece in it. So this is the one you want to do if you're going for ultimate Gley and not ultimate Ajax, because they're both going to give you ultimate Lepic code. So it just depends who you want for your off descendant, whether you want Ajax or Gley. It's just going to change per person depending on your account. So we're going to teleport up here to change back to Sharon. All right, now that we have a Sharon equipped, we are going to teleport down here to the Rockfall Tactical Transporter. Then you're just going to run over to the outpost, and same thing, we're just going to hack it. All right, and then we're just going to run in and hack it. This one does only have 3, so it's a lot easier. And you're just going to kill the boss. Now, assuming you got the pattern that you need, you are going to go right over here, and it's going to be the Sterile Land Rockfall Zone. So I'm going to teleport here to change my Descendant, and then we're going to go down here and fight the Elite Tracker and the Elite Vanguard. Alright, now that we're over here, we're just going to summon the boss. And this one's really easy. You're just going to kill this guy, and you're just going to dodge his slam ability. This guy is very, very simple. He just has a lot of HP, so if you're not that geared, he is going to take you a little bit to kill. But again, you can just go into public. Basically, you just need to dodge his ice stuff. That's pretty much it. So you're just going to kill this guy. And then just open the orb. And if you can see here, as I said, this is the one that contains Ultimate Gley Enhanced cells. So if you were farming 2 at once, this is really good if you don't have Ultimate Gley. So that would be pattern 60 here. And then, but the one we're going for is this one, the Ultimate Lepic Code. So you would use pattern 61. I already have it. I'll roll it anyways, just maybe to get like an energy activator or something. And assuming that you got all the pieces you need, that's it. You are good to go. You just unlocked Ultimate Lepic. Congratulations, and feel free to rewind in the video. This, by far, I think is one of, as I said in the beginning, this is one of the easier Ultimate Descendants to unlock because his drop rates are so much higher. However, you will have to be at that point to where you can fight at least the first 2 hard bosses. I think that is the difference between this one and the other ultimates. A lot of them would give you the option to do outposts on a lot of the ultimates. However, this one, it's kind of like, you know, unless you want to do this one on normal, you do have to fight Executioner. It's the same thing with this one. You do have to fight Dead Bride. So yeah, I mean, if you can kill those first 2 hard bosses, this guy should be super easy to get. But if you can't, as I said, you could try to go for that one piece on normal that has like a 6% chance of dropping. I think that's perfectly okay. But on the other piece, you will need to fight Executioner if you just don't want to fight Dead Bride. Overall, I found this farm very easy. However, I do know that my situation is going to vary from others just because they might not be as far into the game as I am yet. So I completely understand that. If you're finding yourself struggling, you can always just set your world to public to help you kill some of those bosses. And as I always say, you can go to the official TFD Discord and or Reddit to see if maybe anyone else is farming or asking for help with the same thing that you're looking for. But this is going to be how you unlock Ultimate Lepic, guys. That is going to be all 5 ultimate guides done. I will be doing the Ultimate Valby when it drops, as well as a guide on Luna. I will also be doing guides on how to lock all the other characters, just so in the future, if anyone's confused, they can find every single character within my channel. Again, I wanted to thank you guys so much for all the support, and I will definitely be dropping that Ultimate Valby guide as soon as she comes out. I will hop right into it and get that out as soon as I can. So thank you so much. I am Samix Plays. I wish you good luck on this grind. I don't think this one's really that bad comparatively to the other ones. You know, like Gley that has like a 6% drop rate on all her items. Lepic seems to have like, you know, a 32% drop rate, a 20% drop rate. Like his are like a lot higher than some of the other ultimates. So this one should be relatively easy if you are able to down those first 2 hard bosses. So thanks so much for watching. I appreciate everything, and y'all have a great one. I am Samix Plays. Take care and have a good day or night. Thank you very much. Peace out, boys.